Now, the World War impacts. World War II effects or the changes which happened because of the World War. The major change which was happened was up to 1943, Germany was getting the initial victories. The victorious Germans were rallying against the armies of Russia and the other places, and they were capturing the regions. But once after 1943, Germany has to lose the entire thing. Russia and America together fought against Germany and defeated completely. And finally of 1944-45, by the time 1945, Hitler and his close associates committed suicide because they were clearly evident that the Germany is going to be captured by Russian army. And once the Allied armies captured this, they divided Germany into two countries, Germany Democratic Republic and Federal Republic of Germany. That is Germany Democratic Republic and Federal Republic of Germany. In simple terms, we can use the division of Germany into East by West, East Germany, West Germany. The purpose of dividing Germany in this way is that so that Germany would not rise up to a situation where a third world war would be expected. That is the condition, the base for division of this. Now, that was the condition with Germany and Italy. Italy also concluded peace treaty with the other nations because Mussolini, one of the close friend of Hitler, one of the dictators of Italy, who turned Italy from a normal position to a very compromising and a very sustainable growth and led it in the Second World War and a very close intimacy with Germany, and one of the key friends of Germans in the Second World War, one of the key members in the Triple Alliance and Triple Entente who fought in the Axis powers against the Russian and the Britain army. So, Italy also got compromised in 1945. The Russian army rallied into Italy and occupied in the region of Rome, and he also was taken into custody. Later he was killed very brutally. Now coming to Japan, one of the third party which is in the key members of the war, that is first one is Germany, the second one is Italy, the third one is Japan. Japan was forced to surrender after the dropping of the two dangerous bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Hiroshima and Nagasaki. With the drop of these bombs, the entire world was shocked and Germans were literally in the losing condition. Italy was already surrendered. So Japan could not have any other alternative. So Japan unconditionally surrendered to the US armies after the bombs were dropped. So this was the condition which is happening now. The three major parties in the group who are fighting the World War, Germany, Italy and Japan, three are surrendered. So the World War was completely coming to end. Yes, literally the World War came to end during the period of 1945. One major development which happened in 1945 was the establishment of UNO. The UNO was established. You know what is the meaning of UNO here? United Nations Organization. The United Nations Organization, it is nothing but a replica of International Labour Organization or International League of Nations. As soon as the World War I came to end, the League of Nations was established with a motto to solve the issues without going into any war. As the League of Nations failed, a better alternative was thought out during that period and UNO was initiated, could be the better alternative when compared to the other League of Nations. And they have given some powers for UNO. The key members were installed in UNO and all the other members were forced to not to go to any war and should go by negotiations rather than going on any war conflicts, because the world have seen the most dangerous drastic world war ever since the World War I. So they decided that further any war should not lead to such kind of human loss or property loss or mankind loss, because even today in Germany some regions are there where we get the bombs which were kept by the Germans and the other nation people. We don't know what happened during that period or what is the exact loss which happened because of the World War II. As per some statistics, we mentioned that some 2 million to 3 million crores of people have passed away, or some crores of rupees was in loss. But the actual infrastructure, even today in Japan, because of this bombing, we have the people having the disabilities evident even now also. Even the small children are having born up with some disabilities. These are the conditions. So UNO is not only concentrating on the war conflict issues or resolution of the conflicts, but also on the health issues or the economic issues, refugee concepts, administration concepts, all the other issues. Wherever it is necessary, it is extending its hand to the socio-economic and cultural development of the other nations also. And coming to the final point of conclusion, the major effect of World War II was by 1950s, many new countries who are the colonial ruler or ruled by the colonial masters of Britain, France, Russia, America or any other country were given freedom or emerged as independent nations by 1950s. One of the important countries are India, China, Indonesia, Vietnam, Egypt and Nigeria. These all countries achieved independence in the later part of the 20th century. Initiative was taken, but now the entire world is under two concepts, that is, either we have to go towards democracy, or the most compromising challenge which was taken by Stalin, a nation which is agriculturally backward nation, was moved on to develop a very far developed nation. So the concentration on the socialist camp also has increased. So the world was now into two blocks. Now let us see how did the world has taken these effects in the future lessons or the future topics. These are the major effects of the World War II. What happened for us in 1943? Literally Germany has surrendered everything, and Germany was divided by 1945 into two new countries, German Democratic Republic and the Federal Republic of Germany. Then in Japan, coming to 1945, after the USA has dropped the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the final output was they have to surrender unconditionally. This made them to surrender unconditionally. In 1945, another major development was the establishment of UNO. UNO was established on 24th of October 1945, and it is also extending its hands to the socio-economic cultural development of the other nations and to help the developing countries to reach their better heights and to reduce the disparities between the developed and the undeveloped nations, so that these kind of issues or world wars would not result from any small conflicts. The new initiatives or new independent nations who are the once upon a time the colonial countries are India, China, Indonesia, Vietnam, Egypt, Nigeria, etc. Like this, nearly 50 to 60 new independent nations have emerged out after the Second World War, because during the Second World War the colonial masters like Britain could not further hold any longer the things because of their loss in the army or in the naval base, or a lot of money got struck in the war. So they could not further control any of the colonial rulers. Masters were becoming weak and the independent movements have rose to the peak level. So almost all the countries are in the same strand. So they started to get independence, and finally they achieved their independence. India also is one of the countries which achieved independence after the Second World War. These are the major effects or the impacts or the changes which were brought because of the World War II.